All right, let's dive right in. A top-tier climate startup just got swallowed by its biggest competitor, a company backed by Google no less. But here's the twist. This wasn't a story about failure. The real reason they sold reveals a massive shift that's about to completely rewrite the rules for all of green tech. We're going to break it all down.
And hey, stick with me on this one, because what's happening here is way bigger than just one company. If you want to be ahead of the curve on these massive moves, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss what's next. So what is the real story here? I mean, get this. Eion was a success. Their technology was solid. It worked. So why on earth would you sell to your main competition? Well, the answer isn't in some lab or on a spreadsheet. It's hidden in a huge power shift happening completely behind the scenes.
Okay, first, let's get the official facts straight. We've got Terradot, an absolute beast in the climate space. We're talking Google and Microsoft in their corner, acquiring its rival, Eion. Now, don't just think of this as a simple buyout. No way. This is a strategic power play. It's a consolidation move that's forging a brand new titan in this industry.
So why all the drama? Why the fight? Well, it all boils down to the billion-dollar prize they're both gunning for. It's like the holy grail of climate tech, a technology that can literally act like a vacuum for carbon in the air. And no, this isn't science fiction anymore. This is the future.
The technology is called Enhanced Rock Weathering, or EWR for short, and it is absolutely brilliant. Think of it like this. Nature already does this, right? It uses rocks to slowly, and I mean slowly, pull CO2 out of the air over millions of years. What EWR does is it basically hits the fast-forward button on that entire process, supercharging the planet's own built-in carbon capture system.
And the playbook? It's almost shockingly simple. You take volcanic rock, you crush it down into a fine dust, and then you spread that dust on farmland. As that dust breaks down, it acts like a giant sponge for CO2 in the atmosphere, locking it away for good. It's simple, it's elegant, and it is potentially world-changing.
So before this whole takeover went down, Terradot and Eion were two of the absolute biggest names in the EWR space. They were direct competitors. You could call them the titans of rock, each one racing to perfect and, more importantly, to scale this incredible technology.
So let's do a quick tale of the tape, put them head to head. In one corner you had Terradot, based in California but running these massive operations down in Brazil using basalt rock. And in the other corner you had Eion, totally laser-focused on the US market, using a different mineral called olivine. So, two giants, two very different strategies, but both chasing the exact same prize.
But you know, the tech and the operations, that's really only half the story. To truly understand why this happened, you have to do what you always do. You gotta follow the money. And in this industry, we're talking about some very, very smart money.
And this is where the mismatch becomes glaringly obvious. I mean, look at this. Terradot wasn't just funded, it was backed by the literal gods of tech, Google, Microsoft. That's the kind of capital that doesn't just write checks, it fundamentally reshapes entire industries. Now, Eion had some solid VCs, for sure, but they were playing a completely different sport. And that, right there, that's the crucial clue. Okay, so you've seen the players, you've seen the tech, and you've seen the money. So here it is, the real reason Eion sold out. It wasn't because their tech was bad or they ran out of cash. It's because the entire chessboard they were playing on got flipped over in a single, brutal checkmate move.
And there you have it, straight from the mouth of Eion CEO Anastasia Pavlovich Hans. We were simply too small. That one little sentence tells you everything. But wait a minute, what does it even mean to be too small when you're one of the leading startups in a red-hot industry?
Here's the secret. The customer changed. Overnight. The game used to be about selling carbon credits to big tech companies like Microsoft. But now, the real whales have entered the chat. Sovereign wealth funds. And these guys, they aren't just buying a few thousand tons of carbon removal. They're looking to place orders on the scale of a small country.
And when you're playing for that kind of money, the price of admission is steep, and it's non-negotiable. You have to be global. They don't want a partner to cover Ohio. They need a partner that can cover the entire Western Hemisphere. All of a sudden, Eion's US-only focus, which used to be a strength, instantly became a fatal flaw.
So you see, this acquisition isn't really about just two companies. It's a massive signal to the entire market. It's the starting gun firing on a completely new phase for climate tech, one with a totally new set of rules. So let's break down what this new playbook actually looks like.
So here it is, the new playbook for climate tech.
This is now a Game of Thrones, where consolidation isn't just likely, it's inevitable. Having the coolest tech in a lab means nothing if you can't deliver it on 3 different continents at the same time. Scale now officially trumps invention. And those companies with backers like Google, they aren't just bringing cash to the table, they're bringing the global credibility that these massive new customers demand. The era of the garage startup in carbon removal, it's over. The age of empires has just begun.
Which, of course, leaves us with one final, very provocative question. As this high-stakes global race for scale really starts to heat up, and as these companies backed by the biggest names in tech start to flex their muscles, who do you think gets acquired next?